This is chapter number 9, Women, Caste and Reforms. We will talk about women, the caste system and how the reform took place. The first thing is I would like to show you a picture. Not very good scene to view. We can't even think today. This happened or this used to happen. Here a woman is burnt alive with the corpse of her husband. The husband had died and the woman is burnt alive. This is called sati pratha, sati practice. That is why the people who come from West, they say that the Indian culture, Indian practices are barbaric. Is that they are savage, they are dangerous. Now through this picture, you might have now an idea that today things are different. The middle class girls, they send the families, they send their girls to school now. The girls study with boys, no problem with that. It's just normal. They go to college, universities. They are doing variety of jobs from low level to high level. They can be married after a certain age, after 18. And the person can be Arif Sheikh, it can be Abhishek Tiwari. So there is no caste community barrier. She can marry anyone. Every woman has a right to vote. Let me name Pratibha Patil and Indira Gandhi ji. They were women and they were heading the Indian state, the Prime Minister and the President. So men, along with the women, they can vote, stand for elections. But this was not very true just if you go 200 or 220, 30 years back. You will be surprised that we have just come, 200 years is not that much time. The situation was quite different. So we have come a long way. This same girl, if she would have taken birth, say 200 years back, she would get married at 6, 7, 8 years of age. And the father or the men especially, Hindu, Muslim, they can have various wives, many wives. Polygamy was there. No single women marriage or no constitution, no law. And one more thing, very dangerous, that this girl, when she gets married and the husband dies for whatever reason, the husband dies. If the girl is say 8 years and the husband dies say 12 years, what would happen? The pyre, the logs which are burned to burn the corpse of the remains of husband, the girl will be burnt alive with this man. The girl which is of any age, because his husband has died, whether she wants it or not. Okay, I'm every line by line I'm taking, right? So this was called sati, and the name sati was given specially choose virtuous women. If you do sati, you are a virtuous woman. If you don't do sati, you are not a good woman. You are a bad woman. So even if the girl won't do it or doesn't want to do it, she will be forcefully put on this pyre, funeral pyre, willingly or otherwise. Mostly, you know very well, nobody would want to get burnt alive. So she will do the duty of the samaj, of the society, of the ritual, of the dharma, and she will be, I'll just tell you, she will be held by these wooden logs so that she just don't run away. And what about the rights to property? No rights to property. No access to education. And even one more thing, they were saying that if a girl gets education, she'll become a widow. These were all the things at that time. See, the differences between men and women we just saw. at that time. But the difference in the society was one more, and that difference was based on the caste, different caste. So the caste system was prevalent. Today also, if you go to village area, you'll see this caste system in India, very prevalent. The voting system, the elections are done, or are the competition is done on the basis of these different caste system. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Brahman, Kshatriya, upper caste, highest caste on the ladder. So Brahmins will do all religious ceremonies, etc. They will know Sanskrit, etc. Kshatriyas, they are Yodha, they will fight, warriors, warrior caste. So these two castes are upper caste, higher caste, means the privileged ones. Traders, moneylenders. The third in the ladder were called as Vaishyas, trading work they will do. Then comes the lowest one, the peasant farmers, the artisans, like the weavers and potters. And these were called as Shudras. Shudra. See, if you ask me, frankly, I don't believe in this caste system. Everyone is okay, everyone is equal. But there was one more caste. Below Shudra, it was Ati Shudra, Achut, untouchables. So these Shudras and these Ati Shudras, the lowest rung, Shudras and Ati Shudras, especially the Ati Shudras, they were given the task of cleaning the city, cleaning the houses, cleaning the villages. That is the human excreta. If some animal dies, everything they have to do, cleaning activity they have to do. They have to go inside the gutter, clean it by their hand, bare hand. Take the human excreta on their head. So now they are given this kind of work, and they are doing this kind of work. So the upper caste were thinking that they were treating these people as polluting, brushed ho jayenge, polluting. Shudras and Ati Shudras specifically. So these upper castes will treat this Ati Shudras as untouchable. Untouchable means even their touch, or even if they are at certain distance, say 20 feet, 30 feet, there will be some blunder religiously. Means the Shudras have to stop or maintain certain distance. See, if you see today's Muslim, what will happen? They will be put under some marginalization, some ghettoization will be done. They'll live in a very dirty society. No one will take care of them. Similarly, this Malin Basti or Gandhi Basti, or this small place on the outskirts of the village or the city, here these Ati Shudras were given the places, or not even given the places, they just start living there. They can't even get water from the wells from where the upper caste were taking. They cannot take bath, general bath. They were seen as inferior human beings. Inferior, nimna, brushed, polluting. You can understand what the same human being like them were treated like this. So that was the problem of this society. That was the pollution of the society. And who polluted it? This caste system. Okay. Now you might be wondering, I said all these, and what is written here? We are talking about going to Mars, we are talking about some everyday some innovation, and everything was happening 200 years back. But whenever something is going wrong, God sends some people. There are people who talk against it. The biggest name is Raja Ram Mohan Roy. He comes from Maharaja family. That is why he is Raja. He was given that tag, Raja. His name was Ram Mohan Roy. Now he was a very big reformer. He did certain things at that time, which today also, if you want to talk about caste system, you cannot talk. Today also, if you talk about Hindu-Muslim, people will get emotional. They may do something with you. But it happened early 19th century. people started debating and discussing about the Indian social customs and practices. People actually came up, they started talking about all the prevalent customs and practices which are not good. Why? What was the reason? How people came to these discussions? Because at this time, different forms of communication, sanchar vyavastha, different forms of communication, technologies, or the way to distribute all these develop. Previously what would happen? There were only manuscripts, right? So there were the reformers, because the books were published, newspaper, magazines, the leaflets, and the pamphlets were available. They were printed in great numbers so that it can be accessed by the poorest people also. It was cheaper then. Because as I said, the manuscript, it was written by hand and only few people have access to it, and it was very expensive also and very fragile also. It will break, or it will, not kind of book or newspapers, magazine, etc. So ordinary people can read it because it was written in their local language, right? So everyone now had the access of this because of the communication technology, advent of. And now, when everyone could know, or they can discuss, they can debate, right? The people, they can tell anyone, they can talk. There is now mode of communication which has developed. Then, so for example, in Kerala, these books and magazines would have been in Malayalam. So the local person can also understand. This social, political, economic, or religious, any issues, everyone was available. The reformers, the people, they started talking and expressing their ideas, their views in their own languages. They were talking now, they were debating now, and not only men, the women were also discussing. We'll talk about these great women. And as I said, always the reform is done by people who take initiative. So these debates were initiated by, they will say something that sati practice is not good. These are the reasons. And people start talking about that. They say widow have to be remarried. Everyone started talking about this. So the debates were often started or initiated by these Indian reformers and reform groups. So one of the great reformer of Indian history is Raja Ram Mohan Rai. He was from 1772 to 1833. That is why I am talking about early 19th century. So Raja Ram Mohan Rai, he founded an association, group of people, and that was called as Brahmo Sabha. He founded an association. Please remember, it's Brahmo Sabha. This question is asked, what he founded? People write Brahmo Samaj. No. He founded association called Brahmo Sabha. And in Calcutta, this was named, there was a later known, this Brahmo Sabha was known as Brahmo Samaj. So this question is asked. He didn't founded Brahmo Samaj. He created Brahmo Sabha. Now, Roy, what he did, he knew that whatever is going, especially the unjustified practice, we need to change it. The society need to change. Okay? I'm asking you a question. If something is wrong in your eyes or in your view, have you asked question from your mother, father, or anybody else? No. Because you cannot question your seniors. You cannot question the pandits, the mullahs. You cannot question them. Why? But Raja Ram Mohan Rai, he said, no, we need to ask questions. All these unjustified practices, we have to talk about this. Okay? For example, mobile phones. Now we have smartphones. Has anyone said that smartphone is not good? Even the religious person, even anyone you take in the society, everyone is using it. So you have to take new practices. You have to adopt the new way of life. All the old practices, no one talks on landline phone nowadays. No one. So the new things, flowing water is always clean. So the West, he said that the Western education, West world education, he said this has to spread. That is why Westerners, that is the Europeans and these Americans and they are way ahead of us, English people. They also have freedom and equality of women, which we cannot even think at that time. He was saying that the women in India, she will be born, she will get married, she will be married, then the kids will come, and then she will take care of the husband and all the relatives, and then she will die. There is no other work. Home and kitchen. She is confined to only domestic work. Not allowed to move out, not even try to give education. Nobody cares that a woman is also the equal participating human being on this earth. Okay? You see today, pilots, even the NASA has Indian scientists. The Vitt Mantri, the Finance Minister, Nirmala Sitharaman. Everywhere you will see there are big names. Women are heading the world. German Chancellor, the New Zealand Prime Minister, all these are women. Bedroom to kitchen. What is this? This is not life. This is what Raja Ram Mohan Rai said. Now coming to the changing lives of widows. Now what is the fault of a woman if her husband dies? This is life. People die every time. This is the only truth, that people will die. So the lady, when the husband dies, this lady will face all the problems wherever possible. In our society, a single woman is treated, very well how she is treated. Now it is not the case. Now women can even divorce by themselves, they can remarry, they can have multiple partners, no problem. Nobody cares. But at that time, a woman, if she is not educated, because education was not given, if the husband dies, she is going to get to the bread? How is she going to feed her kids? No way. That is how the Ram Mohan Roy said. See, Ram Mohan Roy was very respected man. He was well versed with Sanskrit. He knew Persian and he knew several other languages, European and Indian languages. And through his writing, he surfaced out all these problems in the Indian society. That is, the women has to die with the husband. What is this? So what he did, he has a very good idea. He took the ancient text and then he referred to this ancient text, and then he said all the pandits and mullahs and everyone that widow burning has no sanction in our ancient text. Whatever you are doing, Sati Pratha is not even written in our Puran or Ved or Upanishads. Okay? So this is wrong. He gave the logic which the religious people can understand. See, many British people, when they came, they are very barbaric Indian customs and traditions. See, this one of the tradition. This is called hook swinging festival. This is a kind of suffering, religious worship. There are hooks being pierced through their skin. Can you understand? Hooks pierced through their skin, and now they swung themselves on a wheel. These men. Can you imagine? Even if a pin touches us, we get, oh. And they were doing, just because really they were saying this is religious belief. This is our social practice. This is our custom. This is our culture. We have to do this. And the European officials came. You understand, a person from the West came, and when he saw all this, what will he say? He will say the exact same thing which we will say today. What is this Andhavishwas? What is this Andhabhakti going on? Why are you doing this? This is wrong. Indian traditions and customs British officials, they actually respected it. Many of the British officials respected Indian traditions and custom, but they were not respecting these bad things, this polluted or the infringed things. We call them as kuriti. So British officials, they actually listened to Ram Mohan Roy. And then in 1829, this Sati Pratha, because he was a learned man, Sati Pratha, Sati practice was banned. You have to remember this. This is asked. When was Sati Pratha banned? When was Sati practice banned? 1829. Now, you know what strategy he adopted? He took the verses, he took the text of ancient books, and he showed it to the religious people that, see, there is nothing written. Whatever you are doing is wrong. So the later reformers, they also did the same thing. What they did, they also tried to find out the ancient text, that whatever practice they see harmful to women, harmful to the kids, or to anyone per se. And they used to find a verse or a sentences in the ancient sacred text, which everyone knows that they are sacred text. They followed it blindly. And these verses, they wanted to show to these religious people that, see, you have to support our point of view, because whatever you are doing is wrong. Even our sacred text, there is nothing. A girl, a girl is helpless. Body-wise, a woman cannot be stronger than a man. A kid cannot say anything. He is so small. So the people were doing all bad to these men and women, these women and these kids. And the men who are treated as the Nimna Jati, they were also taken to task. That is, all the unjustified things they have to do. Right? So this was the strategy which was started by Raja Ram Mohan Roy, and it was adopted by various reformer, and they gave the religious question the answer with religious verses only. So I'll talk about this very great person, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. He also did the same thing. He took to this ancient text and he suggested that the widow could be remarried. He was also a famous reformer. So because of his Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, now there was another law being passed in 1856, and this was the permission of widow remarriage, Vidwa Vivah, Vidwa Punar Vivah. So a law was made properly. Now let me take you to the second half of the 19th century. All these movements, because India was a big country and there was no that time of communication, mobile and internet and etc. So everywhere the problem was there, because the caste system was there. There were bad religious practices going on, harmful religious practices. So this widow remarriage thing, it spread to every part, different part. And there were reformers, there were people, they were talking about this. So there were 4 presidencies, if you remember. One of them was Madras Presidency. In this Madras Presidency, the Telugu speaking areas, there was a big name, Kandukuri Veerashalingam Pantulu. So his name is Veerashalingam Pantulu. He formed an association specifically for this widow remarriage. And at the same time, various people, young intellectuals, reformers in Bombay, they also said they are working for the same cause. Now coming to North, this is a big name, Swami Dayananda Saraswati. So this is a question being asked, okay? Who established the Arya Samaj? Swami Dayananda Saraswati in North. So that Arya Samaj was supporting the widow remarriage. Okay? So the Gandagi or the dirt is embedded or inscribed by some people in this beautiful Hindu religion. And these are the, widow cannot be remarried, or the Sati Pratha. All these have to be clean. So all these, laws were passed, but still people were not accepting this. They were very conservative at that time. Today also Orthodox people you see, very conservative. So it is not very well taken, not easily accepted in the society. Because they started opposing the new law. You see today also, if good law is passed, people protest. If bad law is passed, people protest. I'll tell you about Ram Mohan Roy. He published many pamphlets. And there was a dialogue, there's a talk between the advocate of this practice and the opponent of this practice, Sati Pratha. Sati. So here, women, advocate of Sati were saying, women are bekoof. Women are by nature, they are inferior. They have no resolution. You cannot trust them. If you allow them to go out, they will be in bad practices. Many of them, on the death of their husband, become desirous of accompanying them. That is, they wanted to kill themselves, or they want to go with their men. But to remove every chance of their trying, we would, from the blazing fire, in burning them, we would tie them down to the pile. That is, wooden blocks, they will be tied, women. That if burning sensation, she should not run away. So the opponent of Sati said, you are saying the Aurte are Bewkoof, they have inferior understanding. Have you ever given them opportunity, fair opportunity? How can they show their natural capacity? In First World War, all the men in Europe, they went for what? The war. So who is going to do the office work? So the women were called, and the women, when they started working, everyone was surprised that women can do such a good office work. So the opponent of Sati were saying, just give the opportunity. Then you will understand who is better, girl or a boy. Always girls are disciplined, they are good, they behave well. For me, men and women are equal. For me, everyone has same mind, same IQ level, almost same. And we must respect them. Girls begin going to school. Now, this is a very important topic, and we'll talk about this in the next discussion. Till then, thank you so much. Take care of yourself.